Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I would like to talk to you about a recent change in my photography, specifically in the tools that I'm using to get my work done. So for many years, in fact the whole time that I've been a professional photographer, I have used Canon DSLRs, which are absolutely great. And I've shot loads of lovely work with my Canons, and it's all been lovely. However, one thing that I will say about their cameras is, to me, they are moderately uninteresting. So I don't know whether it's just because I've been working with them for such a long time, and there's nothing wrong with their cameras, and I didn't fall out of love with their cameras or anything like that, and I never thought, oh my goodness, the pictures that I'm taking are terrible. It's just that I was not getting inspired with their stuff, frankly. And so earlier this year, I made a move to using Fuji cameras, and I have been absolutely blown away. So I've been working with an X Pro 1 as my fun camera, which is slightly long in the tooth now. It's quite old, but still a lovely camera. So you can check out my video about that if you like. But for my studio camera, my workhorse, I have had this bad boy for the last several months. It's a Fuji GFX50S, and it's one of their medium format cameras. And I had been reading about them. I had been looking at pictures of really beautiful stuff that people had shot with these cameras. I'd seen them in camera stores, and so on and so on. And I thought, wow, those are magnificent cameras, absolutely great. Then I had one on loan, and I shot one for myself, and I was absolutely blown away. Now, I've shot with virtually every camera that's currently available on the market, and I haven't shot with every medium format camera that's available. I've shot with most of the recent Hasselblad cameras, and beautiful though they are way out of my price range, way out of many people's price ranges, I dare say. But when the GFX came along, although it's not a super cheap camera by any means, it is just about doable for somebody like me, and it's not crazy. You don't have to kind of remortgage your house or whatever. Anyway, all of that is by the by, because budget is a very personal thing. But I felt that once I'd had this thing on loan, I really wanted to try and find a way to get one for myself. And so I picked this up several months ago. And it's the standard of my work. I mean, it's like night and day, and I'll show you some examples as we move through the video. The finished work speaks for itself, I think, and my clients, the clients notice the difference basically, which they don't always notice between different pieces of equipment. But the way that you work with the camera is different to DSLRs, both for the good and the bad, actually. But just looking at this camera physically, it's big. It looks like a big sort of chunky DSLR type thing, and it takes its design, I think, is in the tradition of the big Hasselblad H series cameras, which are big and heavy and slow. And this is big and heavy, and it's quite slow. And I don't consider those to be negative aspects at all, because the thing that everybody says about medium format photography is that it slows you down. Now, I would never want to use this camera for any application where speed was critical. So I wouldn't want to shoot sports on this thing. I wouldn't want to shoot a wedding on it either. I mean, it operates slowly, the autofocus is slow, and so on. For the kind of photography that I shoot the most, which is studio portraiture, it is absolutely brilliant for that. Now, I've never been an overshooter anyway, so I don't shoot any more than I need. It wastes everybody's time. It means that the models get tired and fed up. So I shoot what I need, and that's good for me. So with this camera, it works great in that respect. It is slow. You can feel it. It feels almost kind of clunky when you push the shutter down. The autofocus is relatively slow. However, none of that really matters to me because the images that come out of the camera are absolutely stunning. All of that is subjective, I guess. You know, what one person loves, another person could not be too interested in, and so on. But I love it. And the thing that people say about Fuji cameras, which is incredible, is the color reproduction. And this, it's literally the best color I've ever seen on any camera. The color reproduction on this camera is absolutely insane. And I've never seen photos as good as the ones that I've shot with this camera. All of that is subjective, of course, and you can make up your own minds, and I'll show you some similar pictures shot on my 5D Mark III, my Canon 5D Mark III, and on the GFX, and so you can decide for yourself what you think. Anyway, the physical form of this camera, you can see if I show you a kind of profile shot of it, is it's big and it's bulky. Now I've got the battery grip on this, which is optional. Not that I really need bags of battery power, but because I shoot a lot in portrait format, it really makes sense for me having the shutter button in an easy place, so I'm not having to do this the whole time. So I opted to get the grip. It also has a removable electronic viewfinder, which you can see at the top. I'll try and take that off for you. It just comes off like that, and so if you want to shoot using the LCD screen, you can do that, but I prefer to use the EVF, so I'm going to put that back on. Talking of the LCD screen, it's got this awesome flip out situation like this. So if you want to shoot nice and low, you can hold it down at waist level. I mean, this is not a stealth camera by any means, but if you want to kind of hold it down low and shoot from the hip or whatever, you can do that. So you've got this, this awesome flip out screen. On the top of the camera, you can see that it shares lots in common with the Fuji X series camera. So there's loads of dials and knobs. And if you want to control the aperture in an old-fashioned way, then you can use the aperture ring and move that around. I have that locked, and I'm using the finger dials to do that with. In the hand, it feels great. Now I have huge hands, and so I love big cameras because they're easy for me to hold, they're comfortable. It's a highly ergonomic piece of equipment in its physical form, so it's wonderful to shoot with. The camera operation is otherwise really simple. It's just like using any other mirrorless camera. It has the beautiful Fujifilm film simulations inside it, and these are absolutely jaw-dropping. They're breathtaking. I mean, all of them are good. I will mention specifically the black and white film simulations, and I use the Acros with the green filter. The photos that you shoot with this are perfect straight from the camera. I mean, you don't need to do anything to them. It's just unbelievable. When I shot my first set with the Acros G, and they tethered right into Capture One, I was absolutely blown away. They are that good. And speaking of Capture One, I've used that for tethering in the studio for forever, and earlier iterations of the software didn't work so well with the GFX. That's all fine now, so the current version of Capture One 20.0.2, I think, or whatever it is at the moment, it works absolutely fine, and image transfer is fast enough. I mean, the files that come off this are big, and so, you know, transfer is a little bit slower. The sensor on the GFX cameras or the GFX50 cameras, I should say, is 51 megapixel, absolutely massive. It gives the detail that you get from these pictures is just jaw-dropping. So you can, I mean, I shoot full length almost as a default in my portrait work. You can zoom into the face and, you know, get down to pore level. If you are a pixel peeper, you know, the resolution is absolutely staggering with this camera. The LCD screen is bright and beautiful, so I tether as a matter of course, but if you shoot to the card or flip through images on the LCD, it's absolutely wonderful. I can't say enough good things about this camera at all, as you can probably tell. It's changed the way I work. It's slowed me down. It's made me consider each shot a bit more carefully. I mean, partly because of the hard drive space that the images take up. So if you overshoot on a camera like this, you are going to quickly, very quickly, use up absolutely loads of space. So I take loads of care there as well. I haven't really shot any natural light with it at all. It's I see this as a studio camera primarily. It's it's big and it's chunky and it's heavy. The GFX50R, which is the equivalent model with the rangefinder body, or the rangefinder style body, I should say, is probably going to be much more suited if you're out and about shooting, in the wild, street photography, whatever it might be. That is going to be much more sort of ergonomic than this chunky beast. But for me, I absolutely love this thing. Very, very highly recommended. It's changed the way I work. The images, I think, speak for themselves. And if you can get your hands on one of these, either a rental or a loan, or maybe buying it, you won't be disappointed. It's a stunning, stunning camera.